I remember the day before my adoption day, my mom came to visit me, and I remember her coming up to me and saying, "Xiaofeng, I'm your mom." And I looked at her, sort of examined her face and said, "Mama," and hugged her.
Yeah, this movie.
Yes, yes. Jazz, help me. Nothing sings.
Okay. 祝你生日快乐，祝你生日快乐。Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jenny. Happy birthday to you.
My name is Fang. That's what my family calls me. In school, they call me Jenny. That's my American name. I was adopted when I was 5 years old, or a week from 5, actually, to be exact. And I don't know if that's... April 25th is my birthday, 1993. I don't know if that's my exact birthday. I doubt it is, because the orphanage gives kids their birthdays.
Okay.
Sorry. I can cut the cake. I'm grown up, Mom. I feel like I've been 15 for a long time. My age is estimated, you know, and when you're found on the street, they just make you as young as you possibly can pass by, because the older you are, the less appealing it is. So I don't really know what my real age is, but I don't feel like I'm turning 15.
Okay, I am recording. We are coming. We're here, guys. We are in Kunming. Try to hold this steady. We're at the orphanage.
So in April of 1998, I flew to Kunming. Kunming is in the southwestern part of China. In the interim of waiting for her, I decided that I didn't want to adopt an older child without being able to communicate with her, so I studied Mandarin privately. And by the time I adopted her, a year later, I could talk to her.
I remember the day before my adoption day, my mom came to visit me, and I remember her coming up to me and saying, "Xiaofeng, I'm your mom." And I looked at her, sort of examined her face and said, "Mama," and hugged her.
And then right away, she just started talking to me like I was her mom.
那个歌你开始那个歌妈妈习惯。
小巴士乖乖把门开开，快点开开，我要进来。不开不开，我不开，妈妈买回来，现在也不开。小兔子乖乖把门开开，快点开开，我要进来。就开就开，我就开，妈妈回来了，我就把门开。
耶！
妈妈，
太好了！
佩服。
爸爸很喜欢那个歌。
妈妈。
She is drawing some wonderful pictures.
这是妈妈做出，这个是爸。
哦，那是妈妈。
这个是爸爸。
是吗？
这个是爸爸。
哦，这个是爸爸。
这个是姐姐。
哦，这个是姐姐。
而且还有一个。
He's drawing the whole family.
Fang Fang was our first child adopted from China. After she had been home for 4 or 5 months, my husband said, I really think we need to adopt another one, because the sun, the moon, the earth, everything is revolving around this child. And she is so confident and full of herself. And I think that we should adopt her sister. I don't think she should be an only child. I said, fine with me. Her sister, Jiawen, she's a year older. And our third child was adopted in 2004, and we call her Qing Qing.
Kind of quiet without Daddy.
I know. But
I don't speak any Chinese. When the girls came, they practiced English with me, and as just part of the day-to-day interactions, they spoke Chinese with Hani.
妈，你平常说英文，你在干什么？ It's a blessing to be able to know your roots and be able to know the people that you came from. But in a country of billions, you can't find, the chances are slim.
Everyone else's beginnings seemed very like, sure. You never think about why you were born into a certain family if you're just born there, because physically, like in science, it makes sense. But if you're put there, it's different. It's like a different thought.
So how was Martin Luther King Day?
It was good. It was really busy, but it was nice not to have homework from every class.
Oh, yeah. Look at the dog, how glad she is to see you, Sarah. Do you still have homework?
I have African history reading and notes. That should be like an hour and 15 minutes. And then I have the rest of my English reading. That should be 35 minutes. And then I have to study for my Chinese and physics test and rewrite my English paper.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
So you'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'm pretty much at school from 7:15 to 7:15. Then I get home at 7:45. Then I go to bed at 10 and wake up at 6. So it's just a really long day. I started figure skating when I was in kindergarten. So I skated for 11 years. And I was lucky enough to go to nationals 2 times. And now my bigger sport at school is crew. I'm coxing for some of our boats there. Shoulders and up. Okay, walk it out. Attention. Roll 3/4, swing up. Glide, glide, glide. A coxswain isn't supposed to be like everybody else. Like, their role is really to step out and take initiative and be the one to like stay calm when the team is not calm and really nervous, or the one to say, you know, we had a hard day today, let's take it easy, or I feel like we really need to push it, let's push ourselves. Hey, right with Adria, keep it controlled, nice. When we're sitting in the boat, the rowers just hear this voice, and you have to be like very enthusiastic and encouraging, and yet you have to be demanding, and you always have to demand the best. So it's a difficult position to be in, but it's pushed me to become better.
I adopted Jenna in 1992, and China had just opened. Jenna's always approached school or a sport with great thought and almost like a job to be done well.
Overheads and roll. Push it up, straight elbows.
Early on, she became very aware that she was the only Chinese child living in a white town. If you're always being seen and you're never just blending in, of course you want to appear like you've got everything under control and you're doing everything perfectly. Sometimes I've had to encourage her to just kind of relax with things, but it's a big part of who she is.
And forward, up.
My name is Anne Vacuti. I'm 14. I'm in 9th grade and I do color guard and I play the piano. I started color guard in about 7th grade. It's kind of like a reject sport, but you don't want to say that because people won't join. But it's kind of the people who don't necessarily always fit in. A lot of kids will look at me and say I'm Asian, but then like if they're my friend and it's the first time they came over my house or something, they'll be kind of surprised that my parents are white. When you get older, I think it starts to become all of a sudden you don't look like your parents and all of a sudden that's some kind of an issue. But when you're younger, I don't think many kids will notice that and care because to them it's just a regular family. And in many ways it is.
See Anne? Ask Anne where she came from.
Say hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann. Hi.
Ask her where she came from.
Where you came from?
I came from China.
Me too.
We used to set a place at the table for Anne before she came, and it was there every night when we had dinner to remind us that eventually there would be a little girl sitting there.
Well, since my parents already had my brother, they had to take a kid who they thought was more special ed. They said that I had X-shaped legs, my eyes were cross-eyed, and I wasn't going to learn as fast. But my dad said that when he looked me in the eyes, he said I'd be fine.
She made no sounds when we first got her. And she was sweating because we were in a nice hotel and it had heat. Well, the orphanage didn't. So she wasn't used to a warm room. It was raining, and I opened the windows, and the cold rain blew in on her, and she instantly went to sleep. When she woke up, she gave me a big smile, and it's the way it's been.
I was in an orphanage in China.
Okay.
So,
do you ever want to go back?
I would want to go back to see the orphanage, but I'm not very sure I'd want to see my birth mother.
Oh, yeah.
As a possibility, it'd be quite interesting. If I had the preference, I probably wouldn't meet her, but I'd like to go back anyway, just to see what it's like over there. In one way, my family's not like everyone else's because I'm not biologically attached to them. In every other way, we are. Like, I have chores I have to do. We go places. It's a normal family.
I began playing the violin when I was 3. I like singing and performing for people. I want to be the first Chinese person to play on the Grand Ole Opry. That's like my life goal. I'm going into the teen pageants, which is like Miss Teen Tennessee and stuff like that. My older sister Heidi, she won Miss Nashville to go to Miss Tennessee, and that was her picture. I like being like my sister. She's like the coolest person in the world, but I have to be my own person too. I do feel like I stand out a lot. I'm a banana. I'm yellow on the outside and white on the inside.
Do you get your hair cut?
Say my mama does it.
You sure are cute.
She'll be 3 on Thursday. And Haley is 13. And we said we were on the 10-year plan. We've ended it.
Either you did or nature.
Right. Well, we did. They're choices.
We were adopted.
Oh, wonderful.
They're both from China.
Hello, how are you? Good to meet you.
Can you shake her hand?
Congratulations by coming to the United States of America. Yes, are you happy? Yeah, well, boy, aren't you lucky?
People, they're like, oh, you're such a lucky girl to get to live in America. And I'm like, I am really lucky, but something bigger than us had to do with that. I was 6 months old when I was adopted from Anhui, China. My mom, when she went over to adopt me, she saw that the orphanages were really bad and they weren't fit for children to live in. My mom started Annabelle's Wish, and now she's aiding like 12 or 13 orphanages. I've been 12 times, and I go back with my mom, and she helps in the orphanages and brings stuff and pays for surgery and education. My mom says I'm the starter because if it weren't for me, she wouldn't do it, which is pretty cool.
I've been back to China 22 more times since 1995, and we're currently working with approximately 2,000 children. We don't go in preaching the Lord. If I do, the government might throw me out, and then I can't help these little children that are hungry and naked. That's what I want to do, is help those kids. I can't if I'm not in the country.
If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen. If you're happy and you know it, shout amen. Amen.
Hey guys, are you ready for the test?
Test? What test?
The spelling test. Didn't you study? How about... I was brought up in a Christian home. I'd gone to church my whole life. And even as a Chinese girl growing up in China, if it was meant to be, I would have found a way to being a Christian. God has everything for a reason, so there must be a reason that this happened and now I'm here. And so I think that it's definitely come into play when you're dealing with adoption.